that was unlocked in last month's Q&A live stream. Tonight's selection was selected during the Super Chat sweepstakes, and of course, this broadcast was made possible from the support from viewers like you. So, once again, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Thank you for everyone who's been supporting the channel, and thanks everyone who made this review possible. And with Oh, and last but certainly not least, if you all have a request for an anime review that you would like to see done right here on OAW Entertainment, become a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select the Crunchyroller tier. And with that being said, this is my full series review of the 2019 anime series Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. Let's get on with it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Greetings to everyone watching live and everyone watching after the fact. Shout out to the faithful and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, here to bring you all another anime review. And as I mentioned in the opening, this was the first anime review ever unlocked via Super Chat goal in April's Q&A live stream, the first Super Chat sweepstakes. This was selected from the wheel. I can't remember who recommended it for the wheel, but yeah. So, now what's funny about this review? What's funny about this is originally that super chat goal was supposed to be for an anime first impressions. And typically my first impressions are between like the first 2 to first 4 episodes of an anime, right? So the idea was supposed to be I was just going to go ahead, check out, the first couple of episodes and give y'all all my like raw reaction, my, you know, initial response, right? First impressions, right? But see, what had happened was, so what had happened was 2 episodes turned into 4 episodes. 4 episodes turned into 6 episodes. 6 episodes turned into like 13 episodes. And by the time I was halfway through, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm finishing this. So I went ahead. I decided to push this review back a week so that it'd give me enough time to finish up the whole thing. But lo and behold, I finished it. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give you all my review of the entire series, all 26 episodes. Now, for the sake of this review, I am going to be talking spoilers. Just FYI, I'm going to be talking spoilers in this one. So if you all have not yet had the chance to check out the series and you want to watch it before you watch my review, but please, by all means, go ahead, pause it, bookmark it, do whatever you got to do. Just come back. Make sure you come back to the broadcast, check out my review, whatnot. You can currently find the series on Hulu. That's where I watched it, but it's also available on Crunchyroll, and I think it's also available on Viz Media's website because I believe they were the ones who dubbed it in English. So you should be able to find it there as well. All right. So also, I will be answering questions at the end of this review. Once again, questions pertaining to tonight's subject, I will go ahead and tackle. But if you want to make sure that your question or your comment gets read right here live during the review, please feel free, drop a super chat, and I will check it out. All right. So, going to open up my description box once again on YouTube, like what has become our new tradition. Gonna go ahead, open up my description box, give you all a brief rundown of Demon Slayer, and then I'll get into more depth as I proceed throughout the review. All right, so let's get this thing started. So this is my review of the 2019 anime series Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, based on the 2016 Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Koyoharu Gotōge. Goto, Gotōge. Yeah, Gotōge. The series was produced by animation studio Ufotable and directed by Haruo Sotozaki. And a synopsis of Demon Slayer. In Taisho-era Japan, Tanjiro Kamado, a kind-hearted boy who sells charcoal for a living, finds his family slaughtered by a demon. To make matters worse, his younger sister Nezuko, the sole survivor, has been transformed into a demon herself. Though devastated by this grime reality, Tanjiro resolves to become a demon slayer so that he can turn his sister back into a human and destroy the demon that massacred his family. So, very brief description, pretty much that, I mean, that's pretty much like the main plot of Demon Slayer. That's what gets the ball rolling in all of this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kick this thing off talking about the story. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the story, talk about the plot, talk about the dialogue, and then from there we'll go ahead and we'll proceed into characters. So as far as the story goes, the story is pretty simple. Story is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, as I just broke it down to you all in the synopsis. Right, Tanjiro, is a well. So we find out Tanjiro is pretty much like a mountain kid, right? He and his family, they they're pretty much charcoal sellers. They mine their own charcoal. They bring it down the mountain, sell it into town and whatnot. That's pretty much what his family is famous for, right? They work with charcoal, they work with fire, right? And so yeah, he's just a kind-hearted, good old salt of the earth mountain kid, right? Good old boy. He shows up in town. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves him because he helps out everybody. He's just a real kind-hearted soul. But lo and behold, on his way back home from visiting town one day, he is put in for the night by a neighbor further down the mountain who pretty much warns him about some demons that have pretty much been roaming the mountain. And so he spends the night, and by the time he returns home the next day, he finds out his entire family, with the exception of his sister Nezuko, have been massacred. They've been wiped out by a demon, and Nezuko's been transformed into one. He finds that out as he's, inspecting the scene and whatnot and tending to her, finds out that she's been turned into a demon. He is rescued by a demon slayer who we don't find out until more than halfway through the series is actually what is referred to as a Hashira, which is the top ranking demon slayers in the demon slayer organization. That is the character of Tomioka. And so Tomioka essentially he rescues Tanjiro, but he also decides to spare Nezuko, seeing that how her transformation isn't consistent. It's different than normal human transformations, or normal demon transformations, if you were. And so what he decides is he sets Tanjiro up to take advantage of an opportunity that he has before him to where he can undergo training and evaluation to become a demon slayer. Now, demon slayers are pretty much individuals who serve. Once again, they work for the demon slayer core. They work for the demon slayer core, and essentially, well, just like it says, it's a core, right? So they are an organization of soldiers. Essentially, they're like samurai. So think of the demon slayer core as an army, and the head of the corps is sort of like a feudal lord, and everyone serving under him, they're samurai. And essentially they go around Japan. um they go around Japan pretty much executing demons, slaying demons. That's what they do. Pretty much, in a nutshell. So, and my phone is going off in the middle of the review. How rude. Anywho, so yeah, so at that point, pretty much Tanjiro undergoes this journey. He undergoes training. He goes through the what is it called? The examination that he has to go through. He goes through an examination to where he become an official demon slayer, and then at that point, once Tanjiro is set up as a demon slayer, he then begins his quest. And as I mentioned, I mentioned it briefly in the synopsis, but pretty much Tanjiro's objective throughout the course of the story, it's twofold. Number one, he's trying to find a cure for his sister Nezuko to turn her back into a human, because she has displayed traits that are as I mentioned before, they're uncommon for humans who have been turned into demons, to the point where she is able to retain certain parts of her humanity. And because of that, he believes there may be a way in order to reverse the curse, because it's a curse that turned her into a demon in the first place. So there's a chance that that curse could be rescinded. Of course, as far as it pertains to Tanjiro, as far as it concerns Nezuko, and as far as it pertains to everybody else in this entire series, this is unprecedented because it's never been done before. It's never been done before. So in that regard, Tanjiro's trying to do something no one else has ever even heard of before, right? But the second thing, and might be I don't know which one is the most ambitious. I'm gonna leave it to y'all in the comments below to determine which one is the most ambitious goal. Because the second goal is to is to pretty much destroy the demon that massacred his family. We find out that this demon is not he's the progenitor of all the demons in the series, and without a shadow of the doubt, the most powerful one, the most elusive one. So I'm gonna leave it to y'all in the comments to decide what is a more lofty goal: turning his sister back into a human, or defeating. Bear with me on this name now, because the names are a little hard in this series. Muzan Kibutsuji. Muzan Kibutsuji. Yeah, so that's pretty much Tanjiro's goal. And yeah, so throughout the course of the series, we see Tanjiro take on, let's see what we have. We have one, two, well, technic oh no, actually we do. Yeah. We have one, two, three, four cases. He takes on four cases just in the first season, the first 26 episodes. He takes on four cases, and in doing so, that's when we meet some of the new allies that Tanjiro gains. Tanjiro pretty much gets on Muzan's shit list, which that was unexpected, particularly because he just started out. He's the lowest ranked demon slayer in the core that can be, but he's already on the big dog shit list. Very surprising, very surprising. We learn a little bit more about the demons, how they operate. We learn a little bit more about their mythology. We learn that there are certain unique circumstances with some of the demons. Not all of them succumb to the same, not all of them succumb to the same condition, if you will, or the same symptoms, if you will. So yeah, so that's pretty much Demon Slayer in a nutshell. As brief as I could possibly get there without going into too much depth. I'll go into a little bit more depth throughout the review as I feel the need to give my thoughts on certain things. But as far as the story goes, to me, I think the story is solid. The setup was good. Pacing wise, I think the pacing is pretty well done for the most part. Most of the fights in the series don't take more than 2 episodes, and usually it's like we'll set up the fight towards the end of one episode, and then we'll wrap it up like in the first half of the next one. So if you think about it from a time aspect, most fights don't take longer than an episode. I would say that in terms of at the beginning of the series, we covered origin territory pretty quick, because I think we got the origin out of the way in the first 4 episodes from Tanjiro from the real quick because I keep forgetting that last name, Kamado, from the massacre of the Kamado family to Tanjiro's training to the exam. Like that's all within like the first 4 to 5 episodes. So we get that done out of the way pretty quickly. And then Muzan, I think, is introduced in episode 7. Just so y'all can see, 7. Yeah, episode 7. So even then, like his introduction comes much earlier than I anticipated. All in all, I think that is solid. I think that's solid. So let's see. Okay. So I talked about story, just mentioned the plot. Let's talk about the dialogue. Okay. So one of the things that's interesting about this series, it's a little bit more unique in terms of shonen particularly popular shonen anime. Is the amount of internal monologue that we have in this series. So the thing about that is, and it's one of the, it's one of the aspects, one of the things that go into the art of adaptation, because this is based off of a Japanese manga. Well, as you know, my fellow comic book readers, we're accustomed to internal monologue because those are the thought bubbles that we get in manga and in comics, right? And once you go ahead and you decide to adapt that, the way it's translated most of the time, whether it's in film or whether it's in anime, it's done through narration, right? But it's not a continual narration. It's not like It's not like the main character is telling you his entire story throughout the entire course of the series. No, it's done just in specific moments, right, where we need to hear what Tanjiro is thinking. But there's a lot of it. Like there's a lot of internal monologue in this series. Some of it is good. Some of it I don't quite mind. But there are times where I think a little bit of it is overkill. Just because I feel like the series does a lot of tell before they show. But man, that's such a fine dude. That's such a fine line. That is like a razor thin fine line, right? Because on the one hand, you could have where they show and then tell for half a fucking episode. I'm not knocking Rurouni Kenshin, y'all, but that's a problem in that series, and it's also a problem in Inuyasha. Because I saw someone mention Inuyasha in the comments earlier. Those two series for and DBZ. Don't get me. We'll be here all night, right? But those series, they do that, right? Where they'll show you first, and then we'll spend the next 5 to 10 minutes explaining what it is we just saw. Whereas Demon Slayer, they kind of preamble it a little bit. They build up to it with that internal monologue, with that narration, and then we finally get to see what that looks like, and it's like, whoa, right? But it is overdone a little bit, I think. There are some instances, especially whenever there's moments of like panic. Um, there are some instances where it's overdone. Outside of that, I would say for the most part, dialogue is actually pretty good. The best dialogue. Hmm. Okay, bear with me on this one because I'm trying to decipher between best and just my favorite. Couple of characters I think that have the best dialogue. The character of Shinobu. What is it? Kanoe? I think it's her first name. Shinobu. She's one of the Hashira that we get introduced to in the second half of the series. She has probably, I would argue, the best dialogue in the series. Her dialogue is really, really good. It's really, really good. I love the sense of humor that's used with her. That's once again, it's that dry wit that I really, really, really like. And I like how clever her dialogue is composed. Hers is really good. Tomioka, I think, has really good dialogue. I would say early on in the series, probably Mr. Yoroko Daki, who is Tanjiro's mentor. His dialogue early in the series is really, 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 really good. His is probably the best early on, right? Muzan's dialogue is really good. Um, yeah, and Tanjiro does have good dialogue. The best of it, though, I think happens later in the series for the most part. Yeah, and then worst dialogue in the series, definitely Zenitsu. Worst dialogue in the series, terrible dialogue, terrible, worst in the series. Um, Nezuko has better dialogue than Zenitsu, and that's because she doesn't speak. His dialogue is god right awful. A little bit a tier above that would be Inosuke. Inosuke's dialogue not that much favorable either. Mostly because a lot of their dialogue is written in the same manner. Those two characters are complete opposites in terms of temperament and whatnot, but the way their dialogue is written is very similar. And so yeah, those yeah, yeah. But I mean, what are you gonna do? That's the way the characters are written, right? And on that note, let's go ahead and let's talk about some characters. All right. Let's talk about some characters. First off, let's just talk about the big man himself. And no, I'm not talking about Muzan. I'm talking about Tanjiro. Like I said earlier in the review, Tanjiro is a really good protagonist. He's a really good shonen protagonist. Um, he does once again Salt of the Earth, right? He does Salt of the Earth really well. He does this like everyman very, very well. It is apparent throughout the course of the story, Tanjiro is an everyman. He is not a like gifted savant. He's not like this talented genius or anything like that. He's very much an everyman. We are reminded by that through the constant close-ups that we get from the middle to pretty much to the end of the series, where we see Tanjiro's hands and we see how bruised, beaten up, and blistered they are, because Tanjiro has acquired the skills that he has acquired through rigorous training, through perseverance, determination, hard fucking work. If that was not the case, why would they show us close-ups of his hand so often? That is the point. Um, Probably the most interesting and most endearing thing about Tanjiro as a character is his ability to empathize with the demons that he slays. There is, I mean, you can call it a theme, you can call it a motif, but it happens just about every case Tanjiro takes, where after he slays a demon, there's a moment where we get sort of like a glimpse into that demon's life as a human. It's not full blown um flashback territory. It's not this isn't Naruto flashback no jutsu. No, it's not that bad. There is only one instance where they spend like almost half the episode with a demon's backstory, and that doesn't happen until the fourth to last or fifth to last episode. That's all the way on the other side of the series. So we don't do that. But no, what we do, we'll get a scene. We'll get a scene where we pretty much get to see what that demon was when they were human and what might have led to them becoming a demon in the first place, right? And the thing is, the demons aren't sharing this, right? It's almost sort of for that moment we get a glimpse inside of their head, right? Because it kind of goes back to that whole idea, like you see your life flash before your eyes, right? So with the demons, because they've been transformed from human, when they get killed, their mind instantly goes back to being human, and we get to see the last thing they remember as a human, right? And Tanjiro has sort of the ability to kind of, he feels pity for them. He, what I love about that, and I don't necessarily mean to get into a full blown theme discussion like in the middle of the character discussion, but I do need to talk about it right here because Tanjiro's the character that exemplifies this the most. I love the notion that Tanjiro knows what it is he's doing. He's very aware of what he's doing. He understands, I am killing. I am slaying another living being. It might not be human, and it might be a threat to me and the rest of humanity, but it is still a living being. It is still a life that was once human that I am removing from this earth. That being said, there is a manner in which Tanjiro goes about it that is respectable. He does not dishonor the kill. I cannot, I cannot emphasize how much that resonated with me, just because it 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 calls back to that old samurai, like yeah, that old, like it's Bushido. You know what I'm saying? It's Bushido. It calls back to that samurai practice. You know, oh snap, we got our real quick pause. We're gonna hit the pause just real quick because we got our first super chat of the evening. Ajax Zero the Warrior. First time I'm seeing new commenter. I don't recognize that name. Welcome, sir, with a 24.99 super chat. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. He says, "Hey Larry, I've been watching your videos for about 6 years. I work a lot, so I try to catch you when I can. I just want to say I love your content. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Thumbs up." Hey, man, thanks so much for supporting it, man. I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much, man. God bless, dude. Take it easy. Don't work too hard now. Don't work too hard now. And yeah, whenever you you're able to kick back, chill out at the crib or chill out on your lunch break or whatever, pop onto the channel, man. Dude, I looked at it today, man. Got like over 623 uploads, and yeah, man. I'm here for you. I'm here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for y'all. So thanks so much, man. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. I'm actually gonna leave that up. I'm gonna leave that up for the duration. Because super chats are on a timer and they kind of vanish after a while. But I'm gonna leave it up. All right, so yeah, so getting back to what I was saying about Tanjiro and the manner in which he conducts his slang, like that notion of there is a respect for my quarry. You know what I mean? There's a respect for the kill. And he does not dishonor himself, nor does he dishonor his craft, because we do find out towards the end of the series there are demon slayers who are very cutthroat. They are incredibly ruthless. They're callous as all hell. Like they treat demons, they view demons as POSs. Straight up. They you know they're vermin essentially. There are slayers that we get introduced to who consider demons vermin that must be eradicated from the earth, right? And Tanjiro does not go there. He does not take it to that place. So that's something I really appreciate about his character. Um, yeah, I really, really appreciate about him. And I also like how, despite how going back to the synopsis, how grim things get for Tanjiro, he never loses his optimism. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think it's not delusionment, right? He's not delusional. He's not it's not this blind idealism. It is genuine optimism, because Tanjiro believes he has the ability to affect to change the circumstances of his life. Um, Number one, that's an extremely good message for children. That's an extremely good message for young adults. That is an extremely good message for people to have. It's one thing to just be optimistic. It's another thing for your optimism to be derived from your confidence in yourself and your abilities to be able to change the conditions of your life. There is something you don't like. There is a challenge you can't face. You believe in yourself enough to have the ability to change that, to get your desired outcome. And what I love about Tanjiro too, once again, it's not predicated on talent. He says multiple times in the series, I will bust my ass. I will do what I have to do to bring about the outcome that I want. Can we get a couple of snaps from Mr. Kamado? Kamado. Couple of snaps from Mr. Kamado, Mr. Tanjiro. Couple of snaps. Yes, yes, Dejon Patterson Powers. That, my friend, is deep. Yes, it is. And that's what I love, and that's what I really, really like about Tanjiro. That's what I really, really like about him. Okay. Other great characters in the series. So Tomioka is a really cool character. I really like him. I liked him from the very first episode because he's the one that kind of gives Tanjiro his first reality check. You know, in no I mean, I can't quote it directly, but I'm pretty much going to give it to y'all the way the commander in chief give it to y'all. Tanjiro is all up in his feelings because he's traumatized right now. You know what I'm saying? He's suffering some trauma, right? And Tomioka's like, say, bro, I get you upset, but being on your hands and knees crying about it, that ain't gonna change anything. So what you gonna do about it? Tomioka's the first character we get that does that for Tanjiro. The second character, funny enough, I forget his name, but he is one of the former students of Mr. Yoroku Daki, who we find out later in the series after we're introduced to him, he's actually a spirit. He's a ghost that Tanjiro encounters. But dude, I love his shit. I love his interaction with Tanjiro because he's pretty much like, hey man, he's like, oh what, you gonna quit because it's too hard? He's like, I thought you was a man. Oh, I'm sorry, no. If you call yourself a man, you'll pick that sword up right now and you're gonna come at me with what you got. That is, if you call yourself a man now, dude, that's my shit, man. That's my shit. And what Tanjiro does, he does not back down. He mans the fuck up. He grabs that sword and he tends to business. Took him a year. To keep in mind, for those of you all who have seen the series, just a reminder for y'all, Tanjiro trains with he trains on the mountain with Mr. Oroku for 2 years. Because 1 year is the training through the forest, the second year is the training with the stone. 2 years every day. Every day. What is that? That's zero. Let me see. Hang on. 0, 1, 3, carry the 1, 3, 3, 1, 7. What is that? 730 days. 730 days straight putting in the work. Putting in the work. Yeah. Tanjiro Kamado, y'all. But anyway, going back to Tomioka. All right, so yeah, so Tomioka, which you know what's funny about this? I'm not sure they ever I don't think they ever explicitly said it in the anime, but I'm pretty sure Tomioka is a former student of Mr. Oroku as well because they have the same swordsmanship style. They both practice water breathing. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's a former student of him as well, which it would make sense because Tomioka's the one who sent Tanjiro to Oroku in the first place, so it makes sense. But yeah, but I love. Okay, so Tomioka. What's funny about this? Tomioka is the first. He's the first Hashira, which is the top level of demon slayers that we get introduced to, right? Because we get introduced to him in the first episode. We don't get introduced to the rest of them until the end of the series, right? So he's one of them. What's cool about the Hashira, and I'll just mention this briefly right here. What's cool about the Hashira is that they all practice a different form of breathing because breathing, for those of y'all who haven't seen the series, in Demon Slayer, they refer to breathing, like breathing is pretty much their swordsmanship. Like they refer to their different styles of swordsmanship as breathing. And that's kind of where like their skill set comes from, right? So there's different types of breathing. And what's interesting about Tomioka, before we knew that this was going to become like a motif with the Hashira, each Hashira embodies the personality of the breathing that they practice. So Tomioka's water breathing, right? What is Tomioka? He's still. He's stoic. He does not move until he needs to. He's also, but in terms of skill, he's quick. He can catch almost anything in his vicinity, like ripples on a lake, right? Like if you're on a pond, if it's a still pond, everything is still. The second something touches that pond and the ripple effects go across the water, you can immediately see it. On a still pond, you can see that something fell in. That's Tomioka, bruh. That's how he operates. He's like he is still stoic, nothing bothers him until you fucking drop something in his pond. And then he responds. And how does he do it? He's smooth, to quote my man, the late great, the immortal Bruce Lee, he's like water, right? He can fit into any container. He seems weak, but he can penetrate wall. The boy Tomioka's like water, boy. Tomioka's a bad boy now. Don't sleep on him. The boy is bad. The boy is bad. He good. He good. But yeah, Tomioka, he's a good character. I think I would really like, because I haven't read the manga. I haven't read the manga yet. So we by the end of the series is when we get introduced to the idea of the Hashira having disciples of their own, because most of the demon slayers in the series, most of the demon slayers in the core, they're trained by a former Hashira, right? A retired Hashira. And those retired Hashira, all they do is train new recruits. That's all they do. But we learned that there are active Hashira who have taken on pupils of their own, right? Disciples of their own. So, and we set up Tanjiro at the end of the series to be trained by another Hashira. So I'm curious if at some point in time later in the story, if Tomioka finally takes Tanjiro under his wing, because Tomioka can do things with his water breathing that Tanjiro can't with his. So it's like, hey man, it just makes sense that like that's the next step up, right? If you think about it in that regard, Tanjiro is set up to be Tomioka's successor. At, ideally, if Tanjiro stays a demon slayer throughout his career, like he eventually would be the next Tomioka. He's already set up to reach that, but I'd just be interested to see how that panned out. Other characters. So I mentioned Shinobu earlier. She's really cool. I really like her. I really dug her backstory. I like, once again, her breathing style, reminiscent of her personality as well, right? Real quick. Okay, no. There's one other Hashira I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna save him for the end of the character discussion. So y'all just gonna have to wait for that one. But there's one right now where as soon as I saw him, I'm like, that dude's gonna be my favorite character. Watch he be my favorite character. I'm gonna get to him in a moment. So stay tuned. All right, let's talk about some of the other main characters. Nezuko. Okay, I'm just gonna put this out here right here. Nezuko is adorable. She's adorable. And I know that's what they were going for. They were going for like the, oh, she's like timid and cute, but she can be a badass when she needs to, which she can. But she's just adorable. That's the one thing that comes to mind. I'm like, oh, she's adorable, riding around in a little basket, but she's a fucking powerhouse. She reminds me of Baby Yoda from from the Mandalorian. Very much so. She reminds me of Baby Yoda. Cute, adorable, cuddly, but can be a badass if you push them. Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. I am very interested. See, so the thing is, we don't do much in terms of progression with Nezuko, just because we we're sort of setting we're slowly setting things up for Nezuko, right? So we only get like morsels. We only get little bits and pieces throughout the course of the series. We spend most of the time essentially essentially like evaluating Nezuko's condition, right? Her condition, so that we can see how she differs from other humans who have been turned into demons, right? But we don't know what that looks like in terms of, okay, like, will she ever, like, at what point will she become as cognizant as the higher level demons, because that seems to be what we're setting her up for. Like at some point she might retain her human memories. At some point she will be able to like operate fully, and independently. Like she won't have to be, so reliant on Tanjiro, because as it stands right now, like you can think of Nezuko like an infant demon. She was just turned, so she's kind of like a baby, but at some point, she's going to mature as a demon. So we don't know what that looks like yet. But I can already see setup. Like she's going to be a really powerful demon. I can tell. And if nothing else, dude, when we finally get introduced to her demon blood art at the end, woo, woo, dude. I'm like, dude, that is so like there's so many applications for her blood art. The only thing I will say about that though, I was a little bit disappointed that her blood art is essentially like a weapon, as opposed to some of the other blood arts that we've seen where they're kind of like territories, where like the demons can like manifest, like the house. Remember the changing house? the constant rotating house, and then even the blood art that we saw used in the final episode when the demons had their meeting with Muzan, right? Like dude, that was like a whole nother dimension, right? So like I was kind of hoping Nezuko's blood art, demon blood art would be something like that, right? Like a territory, right? Like something that could be described as like telekinetic, right? I thought that would have been cool, but no, it's a little, it's more physical. It's a physical one. It's one that can be weaponized. So I'm like, I mean, it's still cool, but I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay. Other characters, okay. From this point, let's talk about the big bad booty daddy, shall we? Mr. Michael Jackson himself, because he is a smooth criminal now. Muzan. Kibusuji. Muzan ain't to be fooled with. The boy is a beast. He's a beast and a half. He's a beast and a third. The boy, woo, Muzan is cool. Okay. Since I'm talking about Muzan, this is a fun part I wanted to talk about in this review. So, let's talk about mythology, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk about mythology. All right. Let's talk about mythology. So what I found very interesting about Demon Slayer was the manner in which demons are depicted in the series. Because I've studied like Japanese mythology, Japanese folklore, stuff like that. Yokais, all that jazz, right? Their deity pantheon and whatnot. Studied all that stuff, right? So I was expecting like more traditional Japanese demon fare. What's funny about that though is although many of the demons in the series are depicted similar to the demons of Japanese mythology. So for an example, like the spiders in the mountain, those are Tsuchigumo, which are spider demons, right? And yeah, and they're pretty like reminiscent of that, right? But the manner in which demons themselves in the series operate, it's more like vampirism. Even the notion that when a human becomes a demon and they transform, how it's sort of like a disease, right? And notice the have you noticed the emphasis on the use of blood in the series? How like the demons who have a blood art, it's called a blood art, right? The demons who have a blood art, right? How demons are able to regenerate even from a speck of blood, they can regenerate, right? Notice what's a demon's two weaknesses. You have to sever their head with a specific blade or sunlight. Oh, and of course, they feed on humans. And the more humans they feed on, the stronger they become. They're vampires. The demons in Demon Slayer are vampires. Muzan is Muzan was funny with Muzan. His character is inspired, and it would baffle me if the creator did not go to these references. He is one part Dracula and he is one part Lestat. So he's Dracula in the sense that number one, he's the progenitor. Number two, he has a curse in all of the demons that if they speak his name, they are killed remotely through the curse. That's straight out of Bram Stoker, right? He can take multiple forms, so he can shapeshift, so to speak, because we saw he has a male form and a female form. So Dracula, right? Um, and the manner in which he carries himself is very much regal, right? He's a lord. So he's Dracula. Here's the other thing though. Apparently, he has a chip on his shoulder, I guess is the best way to put it. He has a chip on his shoulder. He has vanity issues. He in the one scene we get where someone comments on the fact that he's so pale to the point where he looks like he's ill, where he looks like he is going to die soon. He is not long for this world, and he loses his shit. So he's vain in that regard. I would argue it's not a sake of vanity in terms of beauty. I would argue that comment is a comment in regards to his mortality. Because as much of Dracula as he could hope to inspire to be, he's not immortal. Because even Dracula was not immortal. He can die, he can be killed. And I think he's fully aware of that. Number one. And then do you all remember, for those of y'all who have seen the series, remember when Dr. What was her name? Drop her name in the chat. The demon doctor, right? Is it Kamayo, I think. Anywho, but when she kind of fills us in a little bit more about Muzan, she says that, have you noticed two things about demons? Number one, they can be cannibals, meaning that they can feed. Yeah, she mentions, have you noticed how cannibalistic demons are? Despite the fact that demons feed on humans, notice how cannibalistic they are, how they war with each other, they conflict with each other. They're more than willing to kill each other. And she tells Tanjiro, she's like, that isn't natural. That is orchestrated. It's orchestrated by Muzan. Muzan, it serves his interest to have demons fighting amongst themselves, because the more demons that fight amongst themselves, the less demons that are orchestrating potentially against him. Oh, I did get it right. Tamayo. Tamayo. I did get it right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. So yeah, so that's number one, right? So it's so she's like, have you noticed how cannibalistic demons are, right? Because they'll fight each other. And then the second thing that we find out about Muzan is that Muzan never allows any of, what are they, is it the Kizuki? The the 12 moons, the 12 demons, that they're pretty much like his captains, right? They're like, or I guess you could, if you were to look at it like this. I think it's the Kizuki. I think that's how you pronounce it, Kizuki. And and what happens with that is, so yeah, so it's 12 members, right? And if you think about it like this, think about it like there's the higher 12 and the lower 12. So the higher 12 would be like captains or generals. How about that? The higher 12 are like his generals, and then the lower 12 are like his captains, right? But have you noticed he doesn't allow any one of them to get very powerful? Like, he regulates their power, right? So once again, they can't orchestrate against him. That is fucking Lestat from Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles. That politicking, that manipulation of people in order to maintain your level, that's fucking Lestat. That's fucking Lestat. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Go read Interview with the Vampire, or go read well, the most popular ones, right, are like Interview with the Vampire and Queen of the Damned, right? Because by the end of Queen of the Damned, Lestat is a king, and then of course there's Prince Lestat, which is the novel where Lestat is pretty much like top dog, right? But I'm talking about when Lestat was working his way up in the vampire hierarchies. Yeah, he was very much a politician, and he knew how to maneuver other characters in order to maintain his standing amongst the demon hierarchy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very Lestat. Very Lestat. But I fucking dig it, dude. Muzan is a really good villain. He's really cool. And my God, this one I'm not gonna spoil for y'all. I'm not gonna spoil this one, but the shit he does in the last episode. boy, you do not want to make him angry. Yeah. Yeah. Boy's a beast. All right. So those are pretty much like the main characters I really wanted to touch on in this review. Because there are some other ones, like I said, Mr. Yoroku Daki, he's cool. I like Lady Tamayo. Her assistant though is so annoying. He's very annoying, and oh my god, dude, that simp shit has got to stop. But cause oh yeah, he got it bad, right? He got it bad. That boy more sprung than a trampoline. But anywho, so yeah, so but those characters are fine. And I'm gonna go. So on that note, at that point, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mention Inosuke real quick. So Inosuke, he's a required taste. I don't mind Inosuke as much, because Inosuke is the stereotypical strong brute, dumb brute. He's the dumb brute. So I mean, you can kind of, oh, and how about this? He's the enthusiastic dumb brute. So you can kind of get a sense. For the record, Inosuke is the one right up here with the boar head, with the boar mask. Yeah, that guy, right? But he's dude. He is the Tasmanian devil, right? From Looney Tunes. He's the wild man, right? Okay, we've seen that character before. The joke, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The joke about why he wears that mask is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. Because it's so subversive. Um, so it's a funny little gag. But like I said, he's an acquired taste. He's an acquired taste. But then there's this little fucker at the bottom. Zenitsu. Let me talk about Zenitsu. Let me talk about Zenitsu real quick. I understand that it's a thing in Japanese culture and in Japanese anime. Um, I understand that these, for lack of a better term, let's call them what they are, these loser characters. I understand why these characters keep appearing in these stories, because these characters help satisfy the power fantasy, the nerd power fantasy, which that was the driving motivation behind superheroes, right? The nerd power fantasy. Okay. That being said, I cannot, for the life of me, stand what if. And for the record, anybody who's seen my Flash reviews, y'all know where I'm going with this one. Whiny, wimpy, pathetic, weak POSs. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Loud, obnoxious, simp, for what that term actually means. Simp, sympathetic. Okay? Simp. Pitiful, pathetic. In the immortal words of Singletary. In the immortal words of Coach Singletary. Can't work with him. Can't play with him. Can't win with him. Can't do it. I want characters to win. I want characters who want to win. Can't do it. That little bastard can't do it. Can't do it. He is the one major and severe eyesore in the series. And I would go as far as to say he is probably the only negative thing I actually have to say about the series. Oh yeah. Now I understand his gimmick, because he has the whole drunken master gimmick. He also has the glass cannon. The boy is a glass, for those of y'all who know the term glass cannon, meaning that he's powerful. Like offense is ridiculous. Defense nowhere to be found, right? Like he has one shot, and once he shoots that shot, he's done, right? He's done. So he has the drunken master gimmick because he can't tap into his power unless he's knocked unconscious because he faints. He faints. Yeah, like a little bitch. He faints, right? But yeah, once he faints, then all of a sudden he becomes a badass. So they're working up that whole drunken master gimmick. And then of course he's the glass cannon. He has a really powerful he has one move that apparently he can regulate in different intensities, and then once he does it, he's a fucking beast for that one moment, and then, he's impotent again. I understand the gimmick. I understand the role he's supposed to play in the series. He is still annoying, obnoxious, and I don't really see how he serves this in the first season, in the first 26 episodes. What purpose does he serve? Because guess what? That shit is not funny. I do not laugh at the depiction of pathetic men. That is not something I find funny. I don't care to see men self-deprecate. Stop doing that shit. It's not endearing. It's not cute. It is grotesque, and no one will respect you for it. And I don't like men. I don't promote entertainment that propagates that. Like, that's nothing to laugh at. That's not funny. It's not. It's not funny. It's fucking sad. It's fucking sad. And I'm tired of seeing that shit. Because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I feel like the Grinch. For 30 years, I put up with it now. There must be a way to stop pathetic characters from being made. But how? I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Oh man. Fucking Zenetsu, boy. And you know what sucks about it? Because his is what is it? Thunder breathing, right? So he has a fucking awesome fucking skill set, but he's a little bitch. Such a little bitch. No, Black Wolf, he is not. He is a young man. Stop making excuses. He is a young man. He and Tanjiro are the same age. You don't see Tanjiro acting like that? Just saying. Just saying. Enough is enough is enough. Enough. All right, let's see. So, talked about the story, talked about the plot, talked about the dialogue, talked about some themes, talked about some inspirations, talked about the characters. Let's talk about the animation. Y'all, if y'all have not seen this series, it is so pretty. It's so pretty. There's some pretty pictures, boy. There's some pretty pictures. It is so pretty. I dig. I dig how they. Okay, so two things, three big things I want to talk about in terms of the animation and the art style of the series that are pretty rad, pretty unique. And I hope they keep this up with the film that's coming out this year and with the subsequent seasons that we get, because I haven't seen another anime do this the way they did it. So, number one, the series is very cinematic in the sense of how they use camera, like the camera angles in the series. Very, very cinematic. They use angles you would only expect to see in movies. And what's more impressive is, I would even go as far as to argue, they use they use framing, right? Like set framing. What you see in a single shot, and then what you see in a sequence, the way they set that up, it's the type of shit you only see in movies and you only see like on the big screen. I would love, dude. I can't wait for the movie to come out because I would love to just watch some of these episodes on a big screen with like surround sound, like in a theater, because it's that level of cinematic and it's really fucking cool because it's like every episode is like a mini movie, right? And they treat it like such. Number one. Number two, the manner in which they will use 3D animation, the way that will be incorporated, the way CGI is incorporated in the series, I think is really good. I think that's really cool. And then the third thing I wanted to touch on, and it's more sort of like the art style. So the whole like motif, the whole gimmick with the breathing, the different forms of breathing, these characters do not actually wield the elements that are representative of their breathing, right? They don't actually wield, it's not Avatar the Last Airbender. They don't actually control these elements, but it's a motif, right? It's a it is it's pretty much the way in which they display their swordsmanship, because that's what's actually going on in the story. What's actually going on is that these are people wielding katanas fighting monsters, right? But what's cool about it is we get to see what each one of those techniques is supposed to represent. And we get to see the idea behind said technique. That's where the elements and shit comes in, right? What I love about it is the elements and shit, full CG, right? It's full CG. Um, and the way in which it's designed looks like old Japanese like scrolls, like Japanese art that you would see in reminiscent of the Taisho period of Japan. So it's really freaking cool. It's really cool. I'm like, dude, that's because I mean, essentially, dude, it's like every time Tanjiro does one of his attacks, it's like a painting. It's like a Japanese wall scroll, like a scroll painting. I'm like, dude, that's really fucking interesting. And it's really pretty. It's really pretty. It's beautiful. The series is beautiful. The series is beautiful. Um, it's beautiful. So that's really cool. That's really cool. There is one final thing. There is one final thing that I want to bring up, in because I'm talking about the animation, I'm talking about the art style. I caught it. I don't know if they were trying to hide it, but I caught it. There's some really good rotoscoping, and it's and, and I'm pretty sure as soon as I said that, fans of the series, y'all know exactly what scene I'm talking about. The fire dance in episode 19 when we see Tanjiro's dad. That's rotoscoped. You don't animate nothing that fucking smooth. That was clearly live action footage that they went back and they drew on top of. But it's on point. Number one, the choreography of that dance is on point, and number two, the manner in which they rotoscope it, it's on point, bruh. And it looks good. It looks really good. It looks really good. Really good. Really good. So yeah, that was really nice, man. That was really nice. You know what? Since I just brought it up, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna talk about it right here and now, dude. Episode 19. For those of y'all who follow me on Facebook, I posted a little meme as soon as I got done watching episode 19. Jesus, dude, that's such a masterpiece. It's the best episode of the entire series. Easily, it's the best episode of the series. But what they do with that episode, man, I'm talking about every level of that episode, from the writing to the dialogue to the animation to the cinematography to the choreography to the music. Ooh, expect because I think we get a new theme. I think we get a new theme in that episode too. Episode 19 is a fucking masterpiece. If this was an American production, it should be nominated for an Emmy. Episode 19 was a fantastic, fantastic episode. As a single work, even if you saw no other episode from this series, episode 19 alone, um, yeah, it's yeah, yeah, is fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so let's see. Music is good. The music is good. I like the themes, the opening and the closing intro. Um, I really dig them. They're really good. Yeah, so we just passed an hour, and I think it's time. I mean, I'm pretty much done with my review, guys. So what do I think of Demon Slayer? Um, I was using it as a joke when I was, telling like my friends and family and shit. Like I was telling them, yeah, I just, got into Demon Slayer, and I was telling them what it was about and something. And I used this. I said it's a better Bleach. Demon Slayer is what I wanted from Bleach. It's a better Bleach. Um, no, Demon Slayer is good. It's really good. It's really really good. Like I said, good story, simple story. That I can't I can't emphasize that enough. There is a beauty in the basic. It just stays. It uses the kiss method. Keep it simple, stupid, or keep it stupid simple. It has a premise. It works within the confines of its premise. It doesn't convolute anything. It doesn't get lost in anything. No filler in the series, so far as I could tell. Yeah, no, it's the story is just tight. It's tight, right? Simple, tight, simple and effective. Sometimes simple is all you need, man. PB&J sandwich don't have to be fucking complicated. You got bread, you got two slices of bread. One's peanut butter, one's jelly. You put the shit together, it tastes delicious. Keep it simple. Once you start throwing in bananas and raisins and shit, now you done complicated the damn thing. You ain't need to do all that. Peanut butter jelly, keep it simple. This series does that, right? So story's good. I like the characters. There's enough likable. Like I said, there's only real one POS in the series that is detestable. Um, that's it. Everybody else is pretty okay. All right, everybody else is pretty okay. Music is good. Animation is great. Sound mixing is great. It solid fucking production. Solid first season. I am greatly anticipating that fucking movie. Because I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm anticipating that movie so much. Because somebody mentioned it in the comments earlier. I'm actually gonna see if I can track down that comment real quick. Where did that person? Y'all remember that I said there's a character that we got introduced to at the towards the end of the series. Then I'm like, as soon as I saw him, first time I saw him, first time I heard him speak, I'm like, he's probably gonna be my favorite character. Because let me see, can I find where is that comment? Somebody had that comment. Damn, I can't find it. I can't find it. I'm gonna have to find it later. I can't find that comment. Anyway, I'm gonna have to find it later. All right. But okay, so the character in question I was talking about is the Hashira known as Rengoku, who practices flame breathing. And I'm like, oh, that's my guy. That's gonna be my guy. Apparently, he plays a major role in the movie, which the movie, the sequel movie, the film, what is it called? The Mugen Train, which I think it means like infinite train, which is a story arc from the manga. So they're doing another direct adaptation. It's canonical. Um it's canonical. And so yeah, so that's like where the series is going next is the film that is due. It's from what I've heard, it has not been postponed due to the COVID quarantines and whatnot. It's still slated for October 16th of this year. So I am looking forward to it greatly because I get the feeling Rengoku is gonna be a badass. Um, the dude just he looks cool. He sounds cool. Okay. Yeah, looks cool, sounds cool. I'm really freaking excited for that movie. So yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts on Demon Slayer. I would let's see if we're using the 4-star system. Demon Slayer for me is an easy 3, borderline 3.5. It's an easy 3. Easy minimum it's a 3 out of 4. Um but it's tinging on 3.5. It's really good. Really good first season. Really solid first season. Yeah. All right. Y'all ready for some questions? Let's see if we got some questions. Let's see who all is in the building. Um My man DeJean Patterson Powers is in the building. He says, "Does this remind you of Inuyasha?" Not really. Not so much because Inuyasha takes place further in the past. Taisho period, Japan is like the early 20th century, so like the 1910s, 1920s. Because I think the Taisho period ends in like 1916. So yeah, like just before the 20s. So yeah, it's like late 1800s, early 1900s. Whereas Inuyasha takes place during the feudal period, which is further back. Um and did this picks up right on topic. Did you feel the Taisho time period setting was underutilized? One of the reasons I love Kenshin is because of how entrenched it is in the Meiji era. We haven't actually done enough with the setting just yet. Um Cause really in the first season, the setting all the setting really does is just let us know where we are in terms of period of time. So we have a frame of reference for like how long the demon slayer core has existed, how long uh Kibusuchi has been in power. Like it's pretty much just to establish, like, okay, this is where we are, and this is how long this has been going on. That's really all they've used the time period for just yet. So we'll probably get into more like Taisho specific things later in the series. Dude, if nothing else, the fact that at the end of in the last episode, a train was like new to like Tanjiro and Inosuke, right? Like, they were like, "Oh my god, what is that?" So it also kind of bothered me how having swords was normal, considering Taisho era takes place after Meiji. Japan was a world power at this point. It's just jarring to see people walk around with weapons. Have you seen the final? Remember what happens in the final episode? They get chased off of the train platform by policemen because they're carrying swords. So that is addressed in the series. It's in the last episode. Did John Patterson Powers do so? You want them to have guns? Of course not. Why? Why would they have guns? They're samurai. Oh, that wasn't for me. That was I just read the comment thread. I just caught up. That wasn't for me. Okay. uh it's pronounced Tanjiro Kamado. Wait, huh? I know you're not talking about Tanjiro's name, cause that is not how it's pronounced. I watched it. I watched the Japanese, not the English dub, and they very much said Tanjiro. Let's see. In regards to Zenitsu and Inosuke, I honestly feel like those characters feel so out of place in. They do actually. They do kind of feel out of place. Those characters are almost too lampoonish for a series with subject matter this like serious. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yusuke Knight is in the building. Um I see someone commented about the training sequence. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. The rehab training was weird to me. Yeah, I thought that was weird. I thought that was weird. Um, let's see. Trying to catch up with the. Trying to catch up with the comments. I got lost actually. Bear with me, y'all. I got lost on a comment real quick. Okay. All right. Um. Okay. I'm just looking for questions, guys. Honestly, at this point, I love the conversation. Like there, I'm pretty sure you guys have been checking out the comment section. There's some really good points being brought up in the discussion in the comments. I'm loving this. I'm just looking for some questions for me. I'm like, do y'all have questions for me? But I'm loving this. Uh, let's see. Uh, oh, this is a good one. This one's from Black Wolf. He says, "Do you think he really cares about his family, or is it just a front for him?" He's talking about Muzan. We don't have enough information on that. It would not surprise me if it was just. I mean, dude, I'd have to imagine this isn't his first family because he's over 1,000 years old. He's probably had multiple families. Yeah, it's probably part of his cover. Like it's part of his cover. It's one of the ways in which he blends in. Jaden Hiko says, have to read the manga to understand Zenitsu more. I'm basing it off of the anime. I'm basing it off the anime. Fear or Hate says the comedy in general in this show is terrible, but his stuff is the worst. Um, yeah, I agree. Well, I won't say the comedy in general in the show is terrible. Um, I would say that the okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this: the scenes that are clearly supposed to be comedic are terrible. because they try too fucking hard to make it funny, and that shit's not funny. Like, dude, I'm not a fan of loud, obnoxious characters just spazzing the fuck out like that SpongeBob shit. No, that has never appealed to me. In terms of comedy, it's the subtle shit that I find funny. It's wit, it's cleverness. That's the shit I find funny. Um, but just spazzing out, fucking going bonkers. That shit's not funny to me. That's not funny to me. Dijon Patterson Powers. I've never seen the English dubbed. I watched the Japanese dub. Um, oh, this is a really good question. What character is most relatable to you? Relatable? Probably Tanjiro. Probably Tanjiro. I mean, granted, given the circumstances in the series are so like uh extraordinary, of course, but Tanjiro's a big brother. I'm a big brother. Nezuko is only a couple of years younger than him. My little sister is only a couple of years younger than me. If my little sister got dealt up like that, I'd be throwing hands too. So that's that's yeah. Yeah. That's it. This one's also from Obey Anime. What episode or moment had you mind blown the most? The end of episode 19. Yep. Up one more 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 up one more Texas. I'm assuming that's what that means. Um what would you like to see from Zenitsu in terms of character growth? Grow a pair. Grow a pair. Get some balls. Let's see. Am I gonna check out the manga since it ended 2 weeks ago? Mm, Not so long as the anime is still running. I'd rather just watch the anime. Because the thing is, once I start reading the manga, I'm not gonna want to watch the anime. So uh Jaden Hiko, favorite demon so far, not counting Muzan. What was his name? Is it Key? What was it? The one with the drums. I thought he was cool. I liked him because he was a writer, right? He was a failed writer. Yeah, dude. When that shit happened, I was like, oh, he was a failed writer who was constantly looking for like acceptance and approval, and I was just like, oh, heartstrings. Um, Kyoga, I think was his name. Kyoga, I think was his name. Yeah. How did you feel about Rui? I honestly thought he was better than Muzan after what Muzan did in the final episode. Well, Rui was a perfect example of the types of people that Muzan recruits in the first place, right? Um, and he was a tragic example in that, but he was also a really good, like, dude, he's the perfect example for the type of person that would have become a demon in the first place. That Muzan would have, because dude, it was almost as if Muzan like hand selected him to be a demon. Um, yeah, it just seems like he was targeted because his circumstances as a human just made him prime for the taking. So yeah, as a demon though, man, I just thought he was tragic. Um, Emmanuel Mosley. I do not. I've been trying to figure that out for the longest time. Another one. Let's see. What do you think about how do you pronounce that? Sanemi? The Win Hashira, do you agree with him on his beliefs on demons? Well, he's just hardcore about it, right? He's probably the most hardcore in terms of the most hardcore demon slayer. I see why he is the way he is. I mean, dude, it it provides a good dichotomy, right? And it helps actually it's more than a dichotomy. There's a spectrum where all the slayers kind of fall in terms of like the manner in which they view demons. He's just the opposite extreme. You need that. All right, man. I see the comments coming in hot, man. Guys, I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. We're coming up on an hour and a half, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon. Um, Black Wolf, do you like how the Hashira all had different opinion in the trial? Yeah, I did. I mean, it made sense. They weren't all going to agree. This one's from Tady20DD. He says, "Do you really think Demon Slayer is better than Bleach?" So far, it is. So far, it is. So long as it can keep it up. Because one of the things that hurt Bleach was that it was too damn long. So, because remember, Bleach started off really well. Actually, no, Bleach started off boring, then it got good, and then it got really good, and then it got bad, and then it got really bad, and then it got downright trash. It ran too long, so we don't know what'll happen. I mean, I have not read the Demon Slayer manga yet, so I don't know if it does fall off. But so far as the anime is concerned, the first season is solid. So we need to see what's going to happen with the next one. Oh, excuse me. See, I'm yawning, y'all. It's gonna be time to wrap this up. What is your favorite moment in the series? Who is your favorite Hashira? So far, see, that's kind of a trick question because I don't know much about Rengoku, but I get the feeling that he's going to become my favorite Hashira. If you're asking me strictly based off of what I know in terms of this series, it's Tomioka. Um, Favorite moment in the series. Hmm. That's hard. Favorite moment in the series. It might be when Tanjiro finished his training with Yorokudaki when he finally cut through the stone. That might be my favorite moment because that was pretty cool. I dug that. Um, yeah, I dug that. Um, let's see. Oh damn, Yusuke Knight. Good review, Larry. Love your videos, man. Been a fan for 8 years. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Will do. Thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate that. I think we are. Hmm, let's see, sir. Oh, this is a really good one. Jaden Hiko, do you think about What do you think about that certain special human blood types give demons a boost in power? Well, it kind of fits in with the vampire lore. You know, it kind of fits in with that. Because that's the thing in like vampire mythology is like certain people have certain different like blood types have different effects on vampires. So it kind of fits in with that. Oh man. All right, y'all. Dude, y'all guys. You know what? I'm almost at the end. I'm gonna have to run unless y'all throwing in super chats, guys. I'm gonna have to end it right here, just about. Real quick from chillin', bruh. Yes, I agree with you. Um, yes, yeah, I agree with you, chillin', bruh, on your comment, and I'm gonna also double down with the Hashira. For me, can be greatly appreciated because they're still alive. Remember, the captains in Bleach are spirits. I know that those spirits can be destroyed, but it's not the same thing, dude. It doesn't have the same weight in it. So, I see people asking me about Vinland Saga. It is on the wheel for anime review in the super chat sweepstakes. But of course, actually, that's you know what that's a good you know what that is a good point to end the show. Because I see a couple of people asking about Vinland Saga, and you know how y'all could make that happen by becoming a patron at patreon.com/OAW. Request a Crunchyroll tier, and that will I tell you what though, you know, because I'm flexible, I'm flexible. If you select the Crunchyroll tier, that will give that's like a first impression style video where I'm pretty much talking about like the first like two episodes of an anime. But if you select the blockbuster tier, I will go as far as guarantee 4 episodes. Give you all my thoughts on the first 4 episodes of that series. So so yeah. So yeah. Um yeah. All right, guys, it is time for me to get out of here. I want to go ahead, take this time to thank everybody for watching live. Thank everyone for watching after the fact. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, facebook.com/OAW Entertainment, twitter.com/OAWENTMT, twitch.tv/OAW_entertainment, and last but certainly not least, patreon.com/OAW. Um, this is the final broadcast of the month of May 2020. On Monday, June 1st, we are kicking off June slate. You guys are really going to love it. I mean, dude, we are so booked for June. It is ridiculous. There's going to be, weekly movie reviews. We are almost at the point, and I might end up doing it. I don't know. I might end up doing it though. We are at the point with June slate where we have a movie review for every week. We might have a discussion of the week for every week. And then on top of that, we have other anime reviews. Dude, we have 3 anime reviews coming in the month of June, 2 top 5s coming in the month of June. A lot of stuff. And because of all the requests I've been getting, I've had to up production 3 live streams a week. Movie review, and then 2 others. Gonna have a commentary. I might actually do that commentary next week, but yeah, 3 anime reviews, a commentary, at least 3, if not 4, discussion of the weeks, 2 top 5s, and a bunch of movie reviews, and a television review, and a fucking television review too. All coming in June. You guys are gonna love it. Oh, and then of course, I also still have the old OAW Vault videos going up every Monday morning over on Patreon. Those are Patreon exclusive, and I got the last 4 episodes of the Batman Telltale Season 2 Enemy Within gameplay. Those are going up next month too. June is going to be ridiculous. So Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Make sure, if you have not yet done so, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/OAW Entertainment, or apparently the Otaku Assemble link still works, youtube.com/Otaku Assemble. Apparently that link still works. That'll bring you right here. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you ring that bell so you get notifications on all of these vids. Because June, 4 vids a week is what we're doing. We're back to full-blown, full-time, baby. 3 live streams and a let's play. All the whole month of June. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be ridiculous. But thank you so much for joining me here. Once again, huge shout out to the faithful. Salute to the patrons. With that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. I am signing off, and I will catch you cats next time. Peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?